and Melbourne City. And the fans have answered. Last weekend, bad weather caused the game to be postponed 24 hours, but everyone with a ticket has flowed in today, and they will be hoping to build a special atmosphere for this Central Coast Mariners team back at the semi-final stage. This time a season ago, an expectant crowd were left heartbroken with a 1-0 defeat against Sydney FC. Today, it's a different team in light blue. It's Melbourne City, their opponents. On the Isuzu Ute tunnel cam, you see Rebecca Stott there, about to lead the visiting team, undefeated through 23 games, out onto the arena. They have not tasted defeat since last season's grand final. And yet, if they are beaten today, there will be another opportunity for redemption next weekend. A two-leg semi-final, the aggregate winner will progress. So 90 minutes today for the Central Coast Mariners to put their best foot forward against a very different looking Melbourne City team to the one that has taken all before them in the home and away season. Let's take a look at how the teams line up. Central Coast make two changes to the team that defeated Canberra 2-1 on Monday night. Greta Krasula and Sarah Rowe into the starting 11 for the injured Taylor Ray, while Tiana Fuller moves to the bench. Tess Quilligan, Blake Hughes and backup keeper Teresa Morrissey are part of a bench shake-up, which also sees Chloe Carmichael and Leah Puxty out of the matchday squad. Melbourne City, by contrast, make two changes. Tyler J. Blanich and Shelby McMahon come in. No Lourdes Bosch after a training injury, while Holly McNamara is moved to the bench due to a minor strain picked up in training. And an extended bench in finals mean Melbourne City have added the Canadian forward Catherine Harvey and also Caitlin Carriage to Michael Matriciani's matchday squad. Em Husband, the Central Coast Mariners coach, 3 head-to-head meetings where they have been able to get a draw against Melbourne City, but no wins, and a 3-0 defeat at Control Cyber Pitch last season. The only time there's been a winner in 4 meetings between the sides. Michael Matriciani's only been in charge for 2 of those. A 2-2 draw in Melbourne and a 0-0 draw on New Year's Eve, in which his team had a penalty saved and a penalty missed. Both of them won by Holly McNamara, who that day came off the bench. Today's referee is Georgia Ghirardello, assistants Avril Beecham and Vicky Clark, and the 4th official is Beck Mackey. Melbourne City in contention for a treble with the Asian Women's Champions League also at the semi-final stage. Those games will be played the week after the A-League Women's Grand Final though, so matters on the home front. The top priority, as Melissa Barbieri, as is custom, leads the countdown in the huddle. She'll go and take her position as the backup keeper for this side. 16 wins and 7 draws in the home and away. And the Central Coast Mariners were the one team they couldn't beat, holding Melbourne City to 2 draws. They would love so much more today, though, against this slightly depleted side. And so, under the sunny skies in Gosford, Central Coast expect, can they capitalise against a Melbourne City team without Lourdes Bosch and Holly McNamara? Coming out of the huddle there, Izzy Gomez, what a stage for her. She's been one of the standout players of the season, even though she did miss from November the 23rd to February the 16th with a knee injury. She's been in Matilda's form either side of that absence. Briley Henry is a capped Matilda and will be leading the line today. 4 goals in her last 7 appearances. It might not quite be the strike rate of Holly McNamara, but any other striker in the league would be chuffed with that sort of form. So that's the scene at Industry Group Stadium. The first leg of the semi-final between the Central Coast Mariners and Melbourne City is underway. The Mariners take kick-off attacking the left of your screens. An early giveaway means that Melbourne City take over possession, and I welcome 2-time Ninja A-League champion Grace Gill to the broadcast.
Taya, thank you and good afternoon. Gorgeous day here for football, and Central Coast at home, riding the high of a comeback win last weekend. City, on the other hand, haven't played since a couple of weeks ago when they secured the premiership plate. A big afternoon.
They will have forgotten what it's like to play at home, Melbourne City. They were away to Brisbane, away to Wellington and away to Perth in addition to this game, so maybe the week off was a welcome one, but whatever they did in their midweek game against the boys team in training, they might have to review that, because they do have a couple of their big guns out and a very different looking forward line, which has captured our imagination. Will they seamlessly continue on their merry way in spite of no Lourdes Bosch and Holly McNamara not in the starters? An early touch for Sarah Langman here. Mariners goalkeeper, who is quick to clear and finds Bianca Galich with a pass, and now Sarah Rowe. Back to Jessica Nash, over the head of Jade Pennock, and Rebecca Stott will go back to her goalkeeper, Milena Mires. The win against Canberra Grace was only the 8th time in 17 seasons of Ninja A-League that a team has come from behind to win in the finals. So this Mariners side have done something that's pretty uncommon already, and they're only one game into their finals campaign.
Well, they're a team that have a real level of resilience about them, this Mariners team. And Jade Pennock in really crucial moments coming up big for her side.
What a move from Gomez to keep the attack going, but Brooke Nunn's pass hit a little long. Big day for Gomez. She was in the Matildas squad when she got injured. As we see how she took on Briley Henry here and was able to step out. And when you're up against two capped Matildas like Laura Hughes and Leah Davidson, it's a big opportunity for her to make a point.
Oh, I love this head-to-head. Izzy Gomez in the middle of the park up against Hughes, Davidson. Hughes particularly a really combative midfielder, as is Gomez. And I think so much of the play this afternoon is going to be dictated by who wins that midfield battle.
Carly Ross back in here for Melbourne City. Now Briley Henry evading Greta Krasula. Here is Laura Hughes. And now Alexia Apostolakis. Letitia McKenna dispossessed by Galich. Jade Pennock tries to veer past Taylor Otto. Not quite ball glued to the feet, but Gomez is advancing. It's going to ricochet kindly for Rasmussen. Once, twice, foiled by Milena Mires. And the offside flag goes up, and that will have Rasmussen feeling a lot better about not being able to pass the City stopper.
Well, offside flag aside, two crucial saves from Milena Mires. And they're the moments that instill confidence in a team. You can see here Rasmussen does just slip into an offside position. But they're the sort of moments earlier in the season when one of the draws played out between these two teams, a 2-2, and it was Rasmussen who snuck the ball away from a shallow back pass as City tried to play out. They're going to try and deploy the same kind of press, start high, and put this City defensive line under pressure.
So play restarts with a short pass out from the back, as is customary for Melbourne City, but the Mariners trying to hunt the ball in the press. They haven't been able to affect it, but that pass is a giveaway, and Rowe will take the throw in from right back. Rowe, the Irish woman who has played both Australian rules and Gaelic football, as well as the round ball game. Gomez watching Hughes go to work in midfield. Switches out to Ross Backen, who's advancing and sees a channel open up here. Leah Davidson with a promising run. The body language says who's on in the middle, and no one was on in the middle.
Well, a somewhat wasted moment for Melbourne City there. It was a really lovely run off the shoulder, and the ball slipped through from Carly Rossback, and intelligent, clever running from Leah Davidson, and you could see she was searching for the pass that wasn't there.
Of course, one slightly longer-term absentee from the Melbourne City forward line, Mariana Speckmeyer, who's been battling an ankle injury, has been, we thought, put in cotton wool for finals, but still hasn't made her return yet, the Venezuela international. So the squad depth of Melbourne City receiving a test today without what on a regular day might be their three starters in the front line. Speckmeyer, McNamara and Bosch. But their midfield is full strength and still presents quite the challenge. Here's Taylor Otto on the ball. Ross Backen's pass intercepted by Greta Krasula. Heard the shout from Bianca Galich, turning into trouble though. Through came Hughes, combative as ever, shrugs none. Wants a change of direction and sends it to Briley Henry on the right. Henry looking up at a cluster of yellow shirts in the penalty area. Can she find a teammate? She can't. Behind for the first corner of Taryn King.
Well, a quick turn, quick counter attack from Melbourne City, and it was a poor giveaway in the middle of the park. Brooke Nunn just turning into a bit of traffic, and Central Coast had committed numbers forward. So it was a real flurry to try and get bodies back behind the ball. We've seen a couple of times already Briley Henry down this right-hand side, just making herself a nuisance.
TJ Vlanich to take the corner. Taylor Otto, 2 goals from corners. Last time Melbourne City played away at Perth Glory, week before last. Here comes Vlanich's corner, over the head of Otto. It's going to slide to the back post. McKenna turns into Pennock's challenge. Stott. And now Ross back in with a looping ball. It still needs to be caught. And Langman comes out to make the catch. Carly Ross back and playing at right back. We've seen her used at left back this season, but in more recent times, Melbourne City have been happy to put Alexia Apostolakis at left back, start Ross back on the right, and that's why TJ Vlanich has been deployed as more of a left wing attacker today rather than a left back, where we've seen her at times challenge Ross back for that starting spot in this Melbourne City team.
Well, that centre-half pairing of Stott and Otto, that's a real mainstay, real cornerstone of the success of this City team so far, and one of the best defensive records in the league. You understand why.
Mirez waiting for the Mariners to commit to the press and sails the ball out for a throw. It gives us a chance to check in at ground level with Neve Owens. Neve, good afternoon.
Hello, Teo. Gorgeous conditions down here. 19 degrees. The radar looks pretty good. The pitch looks in immaculate condition, particularly as this time last week it looked a bit like a lake. So an incredible job from the ground staff this week. There is a reasonable crowd in yellow and blue. They're all, unfortunately, in underneath our cameras in the Western Grandstand. They'll be looking to make themselves heard throughout the afternoon. So interesting watching that last set piece with Taylor Otto, who we know is so dangerous in that position, right up front, right up top for Melbourne City. Annalise Rasmussen, the only player from the Central Coast Mariners who has a similar kind of height, a similar kind of physical presence to Otto, was all over her at set piece time. The Mariners clearly recognise the threat she poses.
Well spotted, Neve, and we'll keep an eye out for it at future corners and free kicks. Great to see the fans enjoying the action. They will make plenty of noise if the Mariners score. Right now it's Melbourne City's ball. And here is Vlanich advancing. Apostolakis has got even further forward here, the defender. More advanced than the winger. Goes back to Vlanich now. Stott. Ross Backen, quick to turn. Henry. Good movement by Henry, and King in with a slight challenge that forces the ball out. Throw in taken, Shelby McMahon, 16-year-old. On the ball here. A rare start for McMahon, but it's been a mainstay of this City team through the season, coming off the bench. As we see Henry here motored to the ball, and the assistant referee is saying it did creep out up against the line. Avril Beecham raising the flag, play whistle dead.
Well, offside, the run from Briley Henry, and otherwise what was a really good effort to keep the ball, and the ball in play did indeed stay in. It was just the run of Henry she's frustrated with.
Well, it might be May, but Briley Henry still wearing the zinc in the sun this afternoon. Melbourne City fans have got their drum and a voice or two on the road, hoping this team can continue their invincible season into the finals campaign. Through the first 10 minutes, as you can see, there's no reason to think that the absence of Bosch or McNamara is changing how City will play. 63% possession.
Yeah, I think it might be naive to suggest that it would change the way that City would play. They're such a style-based team of football, in how they want to play, how they want to possess the ball. Players know their roles, responsibilities coming in irrespective of personnel.
Bit of a staring contest going on between Mirez and the Mariners attackers. They're refusing to press. Meares is refusing to play the ball early. Battle of wills as the tactics unfold in front of us. Just heard the shout from M. Husband there. Go on, Razzie. So, Annalise Rasmussen. Again, this is curious. The Mariners would have come with a plan of when to press and what defensive shape they want to press against. And right now, it's not to their liking. And so the standoff continues.
Well, Mariners starting with a pretty high line. You can see Annalise Rasmussen, Jade Pennick starting really high. Meares searching for the pass and trying to find it.
Body check in midfield. Davidson fouls Gomez.
And there's that midfield battle we're touching on. That physicality, I suspect, will only grow as the game wears on. Leah Davidson not taking a backward step, but just a little late to the check of Izzy Gomez.
So a long-range set piece. The Mariners in no hurry to take it here. That's the inside the goal that Elena Meares is defending. 7 clean sheets in 22 games this season for the Spanish keeper, former youth international. So with the discussion complete, Annabelle Martin is waved away. And it will be Jessica Nash who plays it sideways to Martin. Now Martin trying to drop it in a dangerous area, but it's keeper's ball.
Maybe didn't make the most of the opportunity there, the Mariners. The delivery from Annabelle Martin, not a shot nor a cross. And again, we'll see this standoff between the City defensive shape. They're trying to break the lines of the Mariners. You can see just trying to work the pass through. Done a little better on that occasion if the Central Coast can not manage to squeeze and compact their shape.
And now City work their way deeper and deeper. Mariners trying to set a trap and win this ball back. Grisula put a foot in but couldn't dispossess Otto. McMahon gives up the ball to King. Rasmussen lays it back. Grisula's got to work. And the Mariners do have the ball. Applause from M. Husband from the Mariners technical area. Pennick, slick, a little too slick for the run of Brooke Nunn down the wing.
We haven't seen a great deal of it just yet, but Jade Pennick is up against Taylor Otto in this setup. And I imagine Taylor Otto would have been given the task of keeping Jade Pennick quiet, especially after last week.
Grisula, Rowe. King sends the ball back to Rowe. Got to be careful. Vlanich tried to pick the pocket and succeeds in winning the ball for City. And now trying to squeeze through a pass. Intercepted by Taryn King. Just her second game back as a starter and 4th game back total from an ACL suffered last season. Nash. As the ball works its way down the wing. Rowe couldn't find a teammate. Apostolakis breaking into midfield. Square ball, a little overhit though. And that means the Mariners will get it straight back. And the discussion continues for M. Husband and the Brains Trust on the Mariners bench. Martin in no hurry to take the throw-in. Number 90 today for the 26-year-old. Hurls the ball to Rasmussen. Looping cut back. Gomez brings it to ground level. Grisula. Out to Sarah Rowe in a bit of space. Nash. Didn't like any of the options, so back to King, now Gomez. Young fans starting to get a little bit impatient. They want the Mariners to attack. And Galich with some nice movement can do exactly that. He's going to shoot from distance. Parried. And first to respond is Apostolakis, who clears to safety.
Well, the really clever part about that play was the pass through to Galich and a little drop at the shoulder from Bianca Galich. This point here, the midfield, and she split two City players, and two very good City players at that.
Pennick knocked off the ball, free kick, the whistle comes late, and the Mariners have a set piece.
A nice little spell of momentum there from Central Coast, just holding on to the ball, picking their moment. Perhaps a little ambitious on the strike from Galich, but nonetheless forces a save out of Mirez.
Galich with 3 goals this season, coming out of midfield. Again, Elena Mirez happy with 2 in the wall here for this wide free kick. Annabelle Martin. Discussion. We saw a long chat before the previous free kick, which didn't lead to much, so the delivery will have to be on the money here. So after much anticipation, Martin's free kick lands at the penalty spot, an up and under header. He's going to loop out for a goal kick. It hit Taryn King, who appealed for a corner, but very ambitiously.
Well, the little wry smile from Taryn King would suggest she knows that it was off her head. It's a good delivery, and Taryn King does really well just to slip in front of her opposition player in Letitia McKenna.
Mirez slides the ball to Davidson. Stott clipping it to McMahon. McKenna. Now Hughes from the base of midfield. Now to Apostolakis. Otto's pass. Crisula put a foot on the ball, but once, twice, couldn't put a stop to Melbourne City's momentum. And now Davidson sprinting forward, looking for the right pass. And a very nice ball through to McKenna. Saved one-on-one by Langman. Riley Henry was making width over on the right, but Davidson wanted to find a gap in the defence and did so very nicely.
Was a great run through the middle of the park from Leah Davidson. Has options, good numbers forward, City. At a retreating backline. It was onside, I thought, for half a moment. The run had slipped into an offside position, but that's a very good save from Langman. Off her line well.
And Henry here is going to be first to the ball ahead of Martin. Has got support from Rossbacken and uses it now. Rossbacken, Davidson really cutting through the Mariners' defence at the moment, but can't find a teammate. And Langman, a big minute for her, a save, and now intercepting that cross.
Yeah, strong hands from Langman. And City with some really well-timed runs. Good delivery as well. Rossbacken again, just finding the pass through the lines. The Central Coast Mariners just have to be so aware of the runs of these City players, intelligent runs off the shoulder of their defenders.
Rasmussen gets the better of Stott. The crowd rise. Annalise Rasmussen. Gomez. Pennick. And the tap in for Brooke Nunn. Central Coast take the lead. Brooke Nunn almost in disbelief. And the undefeated premiers of the home and away season go behind in the semi-final.
Well, what a goal from the Central Coast Mariners. A beautifully worked team finish from one end to another on the Harvey Norman replay. Through the legs, Annalise Rasmussen goes and drives into space. A lot of room in behind and a lot of work to do here for the Mariners, and really, really intelligent pass this. Watch the continued run of Izzy Gomez. Holds, delays enough, finds the cutback. There's shouts for offside, but it's not. She's on cleanly. It's tucked away into the back of the net, and the Central Coast Mariners at home, they have set sail.
Brooke Nunn's third goal of the season, breaking a 9-game spell without having found the back of the net that stretched back to the 1st of February. What a moment for the 32-year-old Englishwoman, her first summer in the Ninja A-League. And for the 9th time this season, Melbourne City are behind. The key, Grace, is that on the 8 previous occasions, they came back to avoid defeat. But the gauntlet is thrown down today.
Oh, what a play, and a few really crucial moments in that build-up. Rest defence for City couldn't recover. The press from Mariners worked well. The touch of good fortune, the touch between the legs from Annalise Rasmussen was really well taken, and the run of Gomez too.
And now they've got momentum behind them. Gomez says, why not? Looking for 2 goals in the space of a minute. And the Mariners press, able to win the ball back.
Well, this has been hallmark of a Mariners press across the course of the season. They're organised, they're disciplined, they know their roles well, and they've started this game on the front foot again from this goal kick. Forward players right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Pressure incoming.
Melbourne City needs some cool heads just to get them through this burst of adrenaline from the Central Coast. Gomez went to ground, pops back up. Martin. King's pass. Martin compelled to go forward. Set quite the task here for Pennock. Stott will lead her to the ball. Rossbacken runs out of real estate. City with some senior heads. Michael Matriciani yet to taste defeat as the coach, of course. When you've got the leadership of Rebecca Stott out there, couldn't think of anyone better to marshal the team and get them back on task, but the Mariners have a bit behind them at the moment, and that might be a little let off the hook for City.
Well, certainly it's not panic stations for Melbourne City. They've proved across the course of the season how good a side they are. Plenty of football to be played yet here, but what a spell from the Mariners, and give them that kick of energy.
Speaking of energy, how about Brooke Nunn there just harassing Apostolakis off the ball? And the whistle's gone. It's going to be a Central Coast throw-in, according to the assistant referee, Vicky Clark, out on the outer side. Rose throw, Nunn hard to control. Throw-in goes the Mariners' way. They keep possession. Rowe again. Rasmussen presents for the ball, but can't find a teammate with the touch. Bursting through was Hughes. McMahon knocked off the ball. Gomez. Pennock took a step in the wrong direction, so City come away with the ball. Henry. Forced back to Rossbacken. You can see Pennock getting interested in pressing all the way to the keeper here. Mirez to Stott. And now Gomez intercepts. Picks the pocket of Rossbacken. Hits the byline and not able to find a way past. Kicks the ball away in frustration. Got to be careful. Some referees will card you for that no matter the circumstances, but Gomez returns to her spot in midfield.
Oh, she picked the pocket well, and it was a good recovery from Carly Rossbacken, you've got to say. Gomez just running out of real estate, but clever defending, good body.
Touch from Pennock on the clearance from Mirez, but not enough to stop the ball finding its intended target in Hughes. Now City work it out, but the Mariners are causing some hair-raising stuff every time Melbourne City have a goal kick now. Langman's clearance over the head of Annabelle Martin.
Some persistence from the back. Melbourne City, we know their style of play. They want to play out, they want to keep the ball, they want to break the press. But right now that's proving a little difficult for them to find a way through what is a very well-organised Mariners setup.
McMahon struggling for options. Back to Stott. Stott doesn't want to play a back pass just yet. Now has a bit of cover to go back to Hughes and has thought through that situation very neatly. Rossbacken, perfectly weighted ball. Briley Henry, can she turn on the afterburners? King's coming across. Henry cuts it back. Nash, nearly left it a little shallow. Annabelle Martin sweeps the leg just in the nick of time.
Well, 3 occasions now, Carly Rossbacken has absolutely threaded the needle through the Mariners' defence. Really got the dial in this afternoon, does Rossbacken.
Priorities will turn to defence here because Gomez saw Pennock on for the left flank, but overhit the pass.
And she knew straight away as well. Had her head in her hands. It was a good break from Central Coast once more. The delivery didn't quite have the right weight behind it from Izzy Gomez.
So we're just over a quarter of the way through today's action. It will be 90 minutes today, no matter what. If it's level on aggregate at the end of the second leg, it will go to extra time and then penalties if required. McKenna. It's to the advantage of Rowe, who saw that Langman was on, coming out of the penalty area. Langman with a long clearance that's going to go keeper to keeper. Langman playing game number 104 today and will be thrilled to have ticked her name off the list of the most games played without participating in a final. With that match against Canberra on Monday night, the Mariners shot stopper previously at the Wanderers, Adelaide United and Perth. But vastly experienced to have clocked up 104 games now in the Ninja A-League, and she's going to rove out to the edge of the area but not need to leave the box here. 29 years old, from Adelaide originally, and has played every minute of every game this season.
She's had a really sound season for the Mariners. Last season had to bide her time in and out between the sticks up against Casey Dumont, of course. But she's been consistent for the Mariners. Sarah Langman this year, she's come up big in some really huge moments.
Don't forget tomorrow's other semi-final you just saw on your screens there. Adelaide versus Melbourne, victory from 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. 10 play in Paramount Plus as we see Taryn King with a bit of physical attention on Shelby McMahon, who's been deployed in what I would suggest is an unfamiliar role as the centre forward for this Melbourne City team today. They do have the Canadian Catherine Harvey on the bench, who has played in that role at times. But a free kick here, and you'd say it's in shooting range because the Mariners have put 3 in the wall. And Letitia McKenna scored from about this distance 2 weeks ago against Perth. Can McKenna bring Melbourne City level with the dead ball? She goes for power and scores spectacularly. Letitia McKenna brings the semi-final level with a bomb from way outside the penalty area. Melbourne City respond. It's McKenna's 6th of the season, and we're level at 1-1.
Oh, that's just brilliant from Letitia McKenna. Take a bow. What a special strike that is in a really crucial moment. And on the Harvey Norman replay, there is no stopping that finish. Puts her laces through it, technique, power, and picks her spot to perfection. What a hit, and what a way to get your team back on level terms.
Letitia McKenna, free kick goals in consecutive games. 6 for the season and 11 careers. So she's scored more goals this season alone than she had in her entire Ninja A-League career prior to this campaign. It's her 116th game and she's only 22 years old. She's been playing in this competition since debuting as a 15-year-old for her hometown Perth. But Grace, that was just a stunning moment, and it's left the crowd in a bit of a daze.
Well, that's the kind of strike that you watch again and again. The way it just travelled through the air. A beautiful finish. Knew exactly what she was doing, where she was going to hit it.
City really rolling the dice, but backing themselves to play out from defence. Apostolakis with a little pass to herself, really. Chipped it around the opponent and kept the run going. And now the pendulum has swung in Melbourne City's favour. Apostolakis still running. surveys what's on in the box. Decides to bide her time. Vlanich, McKenna. Protecting the ball and happy to send it back to the centre of defence. Stott. The ball's going to sit up kindly for Vlanich. Apostolakis, a little burst. Once, twice. And a series of ricochets out for a goal kick. Apostolakis, who scored in the 2-2 draw back in November. Not able to finish off that attack there.
Momentum just swinging back in the favour of Melbourne City, because you'd have to say that goal against the run of play, as we have another look at it, came from the free kick given away Taryn King, and what is a really extraordinary finish. But it's given City just a bit of confidence and a bit of kick in their step as well.
Well, it came from a fairly innocuous free kick. And there are plenty of players that would not consider it shooting range. Letitia McKenna, though, someone who is more than happy to back herself.
What a season she's having as well, her best yet in the A-League. A few years now at City, and she's obviously got the backing of coach Michael Matriciani and growing in confidence, and she was the lone player standing over the ball, so it was clear she was only going to be the one to take it.
Gomez combining with Rasmussen. Hughes put a foot on the ball. King, Rossbacken. Hughes. McMahon. Gomez takes over for Central Coast. But ran into trouble. Briley Henry. Krasula put a good block on. And now Galich capitalises. None. It's a real scrap. This is a big phase of play here. Who's going to win this battle of wills? Pennick chasing after Nash's pass. Up against Otto, and Otto puts the ball behind for a Mariners corner.
Well, she was a bit frustrated with herself there, Taylor Otto. Did well to close the space towards Pennick and just steered the block out, giving the Mariners a corner.
Home fans find their voice again. Annabelle Martin is running across the pitch to take this corner kick. Rasmussen trying to wreak havoc on the goal line. Very closely marked by Leah Davidson, bouncing around inside the goal as the corner is taken. None. Back to Martin. And skims off the head of Galich, and that will be a goal kick.
A little too high, a little too difficult for Bianca Galich to direct the header goalward.
Well, the corner's one thing, the goal kick's another. Mirez decides to go for distance. Aerial duel flicked on by Galich. Otto comes through with force. Apostolakis brings the ball to ground, and Henry is off and racing. Rowe trying to backtrack. It's Briley Henry. Rounds the goalkeeper and City lead. Briley Henry's goal-scoring run continues into the finals. It's 5 in 8 for the City forward. No Mac, no worries. Melbourne City into a 2-1 lead.
Well, momentum all the way of Melbourne City in these last few minutes, and on the Harvey Norman replay, it's a really clever run from Briley Henry. Outside in, across the face of her defender, and then Sarah Rowe has some serious work to do here. Can't do so because it's the speed and it's the shape of the run from Briley Henry that makes this incredibly difficult to defend. Takes the touch in front of the run of Rowe, takes it around the goalkeeper and passes it coolly into the back of the net. City silencing the Mariners home fans here.
How about the composure, Grace, to round the keeper?
And and such intelligent movement from Briley Henry. Already we've seen a few occasions just slipping through the Mariners' defensive line off the shoulder of her defender, but clever to take the line of the run of Sarah Rowe.
Well, Coach Michael Matriciani not giving much away. There's still 10 minutes of regulation until half-time, but what a start to this match. What a start to the semi-finals. Melbourne City coming from behind to lead 2-1. And it's now the Mariners who need a response, having conceded twice at home. Pennick. Rowe, Rasmussen. Tough pass to control. City on the counter-attack now, looming as a real threat. Apostolakis, assist for the last goal. Off and running here. Vlanich. And a little early with the pass, fielded by Langman.
I don't mind the idea from Vlanich there. Just trying to find the shape of the delivery across the Mariners' backline. Didn't quite have enough room to work with. What about the quality of the finishes we've seen so far? The opening goal from Brooke Nunn, a beautifully worked team goal. A wonder strike from Letitia McKenna, and a clever bit of play for that third goal and the second of City's.
Mariners potentially on here. Nunn wheels away, didn't want to play Pennick wide, but forcing it into the middle has come unstuck. Hughes takes the ball and repels. Now McKenna. Henry hanging off the last defender. Is she about to repeat the magic? Briley Henry again! Not this time for Langman. Down at the feet of the oncoming Henry, and prevents her scoring goals in quick succession with a good one-on-one save.
Well, Langman had to get that one right. And again, watch the run of Briley Henry across the shoulder, the blind side of Taryn King. Really difficult to defend against. Tries to go around the same way. Good set of hands shown by the goalkeeper.
The offside flag has gone up in the meantime. 12th career goal for Briley Henry. 80th game today. She's still only 21. Now, at the base of your screen, Grace, watch the Melbourne City subs react to Henry going in and scoring here. That's team unity, if you've ever seen it, because they are delighted.
Well, right in the wave of emotion with their team, and understandably so. What a finish it was.
And that's what you need. You need the buy-in from the players whose game time, some of those players on the bench have seen sparing minutes and appearances through the season, but they're invested in what's going on out on the pitch. McMahon. Apostolakis is really starting to become a headache for the Mariners every time she ventures forward here. Vlanich. Apostolakis. Now McKenna. And Nash with good use of the body to see that over the line for a goal kick.
Well, it's been a really enjoyable opening half in this first leg of the semi-final. Both teams looking to press high, looking to put pressure on their opposition's back line. We haven't seen either side sitting back and just trying to absorb. Both teams are wanting to play here.
Apostolakis, a bit of neat footwork, finds McKenna. McKenna, diagonal ball. Martin to get something on it, and did so successfully. So 5 minutes of regulation remaining in the first half. King. Nunn. Difficult pass to control. Eavesdropping on Michael Matriciani there, saying slow it down, give everyone a breather. Only 21 degrees at kickoff today, so even though it's sunny, it's not warm. Perfect conditions, really. Hughes. Back to Mires. Mariners not pressing onto the keeper just yet, so Mires has time to pick the pass. This time it's McKenna. Got pressure from Gomez, but was able to flash it out to the left side. And Apostolakis with free rein once again. Drifting into midfield. McKenna. Square ball, a little under hit. Nunn. Krasula just put it up for grabs and Stott took over. Apostolakis. Vlanich. Stott's come up to join the midfield here. Mariners need to stay organised. Their concentration being tested at the end of the first half. The elation of going in front, now distant memory. Stott trying to step through and clattered Nash at the end of her attempts to forge a path.
Centre half as it resulted, the two players coming together. Jess Nash just a little slow to return to her feet. As much as we've seen a variation of this Mariners backline across the course of the season. Ash Irwin, of course, earlier in the season doing her ACL, unfortunately. Taylor Ray out today with injury. Jess Nash is a player who has been an absolute mainstay in that backline. And she's been very sound. She had a great season.
Galich. Mariners struggling to deal with the heat when City turn it up at the moment. Ball goes out. Both teams arguing it's their throw, but seemed quite clearly to come off City foot last. Krasula. Rowe. Nash has to go to the sky. Otto heads it back into the attacking half. 2-on-1. Galich was the one. Broke even in the contest. See City are just stalking the ball at the moment. Every touch is under pressure for the Mariners at present. Finally in a bit of space. Nash can think about what's next, but just volunteers it back, and where the Mariners were getting those little tactical wins earlier in the game, Melbourne City seem to have taken over now.
And a couple of little moments of wastefulness from the Mariners where they have one possession back, secure in the first and second pass, but that third ball looking forward is just a bit of hit and hope.
Long pass here finds Henry, has McMahon in support. Ross back and getting forward. Davidson plays Henry, great run. Riley Henry surveys what's on in the box. Headed away by Krasula, and now with the feet, a half volley clear. Backspin on the ball, up comes Stott. Ross Backen nods it out in front. Cuts it inside for Davidson, and not able to link up with Henry this time because Taryn King is in the way.
Riley Henry just continuing to pose a threat down that right-hand side. She's had an energetic first half, a dynamic first half. Goal aside, she's been involved.
Henry working back to goal, feeds it out to Rossbacken. Davidson, Rossbacken, late contact from Nunn, free kick, hard against the line. So a wide set piece for Melbourne City. Game will tick into stoppage time at the end of the first half before they take it, as we have another look here at Nunn's foul.
Yeah, just a little clumsy through the back of Leah Davidson. Brooke Nunn upending the midfielder. And this is a really dangerous territory. We've already seen the quality of McKenna's set piece taking. And if she can put this right on that 6-yard line, coax Sarah Langman out of her goal, just needs the slightest of glances to find the back of the net.
3 additional minutes to be played at the end of the first half. For a second, Grace, I thought you were going to say if she can score from here. Well, if she scores from here, we will be talking about it. McKenna, 1 goal already. Can she turn provider? Slides it low, McMahon, blocked immediately by the sliding Rasmussen. Henry, Ross back in, outpointed by Nash. Hughes keeps the attack going for City. Ross back and happy to slow things down. Apostolakis. Henry touches it back to McKenna. Mariners just can't clear their lines and put a foot on the ball at the moment. And so Melbourne City consolidate. Players trying to reorganise themselves, get back into familiar possession. Can always be a scatter in broken play after a corner or a free kick, as players have to reorganise or have to play out of position for a moment or two. And we've already had half of the 3-minute stoppage time expire. Mariners would love to hit back right now, go into the break level. Rasmussen was deflected, and it's going to spin out for a Mariners throw, so they've got just over a minute to work with at the end of the first half. Brooke Nunn breaks towards the line, hard against the line, and ultimately yielding possession to Melbourne City. One more trap laid by the Central Coast. You can see how they have crowded the attacking third of the pitch. Krasula, Rasmussen brings the ball under control. It's given space to turn. Pennock offside. The flag went up. And frustration for Central Coast right at the end of the first half. It looked like they might be on for one more shot. Not to be. Have a look here. And a good call by the assistant referee. Vicky Clark's been on the money with every offside call so far in the first half. First half, which will only have seconds to go here under the restart from Milena Mires. King's headed to clear. And that will do us. What a 45 minutes to get this two-legged tie started. Central Coast scored first through Brooke Nunn, the 9th time Melbourne City have trailed in a game this season. But Letitia McKenna, free kick goals in consecutive games. A long bomb drew the scores level at 1-1. And then Briley Henry, her 5th in 8 games. A great scoring run for the 21-year-old capped Matilda. Gives us our halftime score of Central Coast Mariners 1, Melbourne City 2. Stay with us on the other side of the break. Grace Gill and Neve Owens will break it all down in the halftime show.
First half of the first leg of this semi-final clash at Central Coast Stadium. The skills on display. We saw Rasmussen nutmeg Stoddy. Beautiful play in the lead up to the opening goal for the home side in a first half that absolutely ebbed and flowed before this bomb. Letitia McKenna, what a strike it was. That leveled things up at 1 goal apiece, but it is the visitors, the Invincibles, who are in the lead 2-1 at halftime. Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show. I'm Neve Owens alongside Grace Gill. Gigi, I loved that first half. We wondered in the pre-game what kind of approach the Mariners would take, but they've played that high line. They've taken risks, and it's led to a really entertaining first 45.
It's been really good quality football, really good quality goals. They're on the front foot. Both teams are looking to play. It's been a really good quality, entertaining first half.
Let's have a look at the opening goal as we check out the Harvey Norman highlights, because it was that moment of skill from Annalise Rasmussen that really got this attacking moment underway.
Well, counter-attacking football on the break, the Mariners, they're really dangerous when they can move quickly, move forward. Annalise Rasmussen has been involved. She's been everywhere, as has Izzy Gomez. And this was a really good team build-up play. From one end to the other, nice quick movement. This has been a real hallmark of the Mariners across the course of the season, but it doesn't happen without that individual bit of skill. Stoddy would be absolutely kicking herself for that, but that's what really opened up the space, and City just couldn't deal with it. The run from Gomez, I liked, just inside Carly Rossback, and this first save was a good quality save, but as every good striker, every good midfielder needs to be following up those shots.
Brooke Nunn has that ability to do it, doesn't she? She's always hovering around, she's looking for her opportunities, and this came about 10 minutes later. What a strike, Gigi.
Beautiful, and the cannon may have gone off for the Mariners' goal 10 minutes earlier, but this was an absolute bomb from Letitia McKenna, and beautiful to watch. It was the kind of one that you could just watch on slow motion replay, and I'm sure she will time and time again, because that was a very special hit.
And it had to be good to beat Sarah Langman, who had had a really good first half already, and then you saw City start to dominate.
Yeah, momentum swung back in their favour, and the Mariners' defensive line was pulled apart a little too easily, but I think I really want to credit the run of Briley Henry for this goal. It was a good pass from Apostolakis, but it's that outside-in movement that's really difficult to defend against. She keeps herself onside, and it's composure. It's really coolly taken by a striker who's been given her opportunity, with Holly McNamara on the bench today. Lourdes Bosch back home unavailable for this one. It was a really well-taken finish.
That composure, that control on the ball at speed, remarkable from Briley Henry. As we have a look at the halftime stats, it is City with a 1-goal lead at the break, but you can see shots at goal pretty even, shots on target very even, but City still with that possession that we expected to see from them today. The way they go about their football, game in, game out. Briley Henry, we talked about her in the pre-game, Grace, that opportunity to lead the line today with Holly Mack watching from the sidelines, and she has looked oh so dangerous on that right edge.
Well, a real bundle of energy, really dangerous runs and really intelligent runs, and what I'm liking from Briley Henry this afternoon is she just hangs off the shoulder of her defender, which when you're looking over your shoulder as a centre-back or as a wing-back, it's hard to defend against, and Briley Henry is totally taking advantage of that at the moment. She's running from the outside to the in, which is how that first goal came about, and within a couple of minutes after the first one, she had another opportunity. Sarah Langman did get her lines right on the second time of asking, but Briley Henry is having an absolute game today, isn't she?
Apostolakis loving feeding her, giving her those opportunities as well. That is the Hungry Jacks halftime show. We've got more coming up for you right after the break, but it is the visitors, the top of the table, the premiers, Melbourne City, with a 1-goal lead heading into the second half.
What do we think of this one? No jersey with a pocket tech sponsor on the front. On the seats there, holding his frozen praise for the live. 4, 3, 2, 1. That is absolutely ice cold. You won yourself another slushing. Massive congratulations. You two there will be exactly very shortly to rank your prize. Well done, everyone. Say hello to the Ninja Slushy. Easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. No ice means no water down drinks. No blending means smooth, perfect texture. Enjoy. Just pour, slush, and enjoy. 5 one-touch programs for any drink you want. Enjoy perfect results. Transform almost anything with the Ninja Slushy.
Massive afternoon of A-League's action continues here on 10 Volt. Can City seal second spot and a spot in the Asian Champions League Elite next season, or will Sydney get the 1 point they need to move into the top 6? Western United, John Aloisi's side, still in the race for second spot as well. Auckland, they have already locked up that Premier's plate before we see MacArthur take on the Wanderers. There are 4 teams, including the Western Sydney Wanderers, still in the hunt for what could be a very nice second spot on the A-League's ladder. That is all coming up, and so is football tonight with a special guest today of Travis Dodd, Adelaide United assistant coach. Travis Dodd will join Tara and the team a little bit later on right here on 10 Bold. On the other side of this break, kickoff in the second half between the Mariners and Melbourne City. Do not forget, the Mariners, who trail, scored in the first minute of the second half last week, so do not miss kickoff in the second stanza. It is coming off in just 1 minute's time.
Central Coast's first half goal scorer Brooke Nunn did put the Mariners into a 1-0 lead, but they trail 2-1 at half-time in the first leg of this semi-final. Melbourne City in the ascendancy. Of course, there are still a minimum of 3 45-minute halves to go, and if they're level after the second leg, extra time as well. So it's early days in the journey to the Ninja A-League Grand Final. But right now, it is Melbourne City, their best foot forward, in front as we kick off the second half. And neither team has made a change to the 11s that started the game. Straight out of the gate, Jade Pennock off and chasing, and Alexia Apostolakis has misplaced a pass. Will stay with the Mariners on the attack here as a result, but it is short-lived as Nunn gets caught in possession. Lanish's long ball dealt with. Grace Gill, welcome back to the commentary box, and Central Coast not able to repeat the magic of Monday night's win against Canberra, where they scored in the first 30 seconds of the second half.
I think both teams starting on the front foot, not sitting back, and what we saw across that first half was neither team taking a backward step. It was really good to see. It was a good quality half of football with some fantastic finishes, and from the looks of this opening couple of seconds here, both coaches have asked for the same intensity into this second stanza.
Rossbacken trying to thread through Henry. Martin, now Nunn. Brooke Nunn in space, looking for the right pass. And neither Rasmussen nor Gomez were breaking at speed, and the ball just a little overhit. See the internal dialogue starting to spill out from Brooke Nunn.
Well, the idea is right. The pass just a little too straight. Made it a bit predictable for Mires to come off her line and collect. But we're still seeing this high line from Jade Pennock, from Annalise Rasmussen. They're not wanting to allow City to get really comfortable on the ball.
Even though the shadows are cutting across about 40% of the pitch, the parts in sunlight are now in particularly bright sunshine at the moment. Trying to run through the middle was Henry, Nash, Taryn King, Martin. It's a long pass, but can't see one in the offing, so goes back to King. Oh, Krasula sold up the river by that pass. Hughes intercepts, and now McMahon. It's Shelby McMahon. Turns onto her left side, and that gave the Mariners just enough time to get back and interrupt the shot.
Well, one touch too many for the 16-year-old Shelby McMahon in what was pinched really neatly by Laura Hughes, driving forward, and this pass, really clever. On the surface, I think Shelby McMahon just needs to unleash the strike on that first time of asking. Put it on the ground, force a save from Sarah Langman. Crisis averted for the Mariners.
McMahon, who scored in this corresponding fixture last season, the semi-final first leg. Melbourne City went to Maitland and defeated the Newcastle Jets 3-0. Went back to Amy Park and won by the same scoreline to advance to the grand final. 6-0 on aggregate. It's been a different story so far in this one, though. They'd love a third and a 2-goal buffer. Hughes, step over pass. McKenna, Hughes again. Davidson. McKenna, difficult pass to control. Apostolakis did it well. Step over, got two opponents to try to get the better of and not able to win a corner in the end. As the ball goes out for a goal kick, Grace, neither team making a sub at halftime. Do you have one in mind for either team that catches your eye as a potential change coming sooner rather than later?
Well, I think the first 10-15 minutes of this second half will see both teams really pressing high, trying to force something, trying to pinch back another goal. I imagine about the 60-minute mark for the Mariners, we might see a Tiana Fuller.
Stay with Pennick here, who's taking on Otto, trying to cut off the angles. Pennick turns onto her right side and shoots straight at the keeper.
Well, lacklustre in the end, a shot from Jade Pennick, and she'll be disappointed with that. It was a good break from Central Coast. Pennick has shown us how dangerous she is. 2 goals last weekend against Canberra. One in particular was a particularly good strike. So I'd imagine, as saying, Tiana Fuller may be one we see sooner rather than later from the Mariners. As for Melbourne City, a very attacking bench they've got today. No out-and-out defenders sitting on the bench for the travelling team. Of course, a certain Holly McNamara, but I don't think we'll see her if she's not needed this afternoon.
None. A little bit awkward here, and McKenna nearly in. Miscommunication, a bit of apprehension in the Mariners' defence, and McKenna gets a freebie, wins a corner after Rowe and Langman were not on the same page.
That's where Langman just really has to assert her dominance. She can see the full picture, she can see the whole field. She either needs to give the call for Sarah Rowe to clear or come out assertively off her line. This is another look at the shot from Pennick. Just doesn't get the purchase on the strike she would have liked.
So this is City's first corner, where it's Apostolakis on the left side. This was the combination where she picked out Taylor Otto with almost identical corners. The American centre-back running to the near post against Perth, heading them both in with glancing headers. Is it going to be plan A yet again? Apostolakis hangs this one a little bit higher, and it's batted away by Langman. Stott trying to elevate a pass. The attack continues. Rostbacken, Martin. Now Hughes sends it back to Vlanich. City to reset. Well, the win probability tells its own story. The Mariners down to just 9%. That's to win today, not over the course of the 2 legs. It would be some sort of a comeback if the Mariners do win today, though. They've never beaten Melbourne City. Of course, City weren't in the league. The Mariners 2 seasons, 08 and 09. So this is only the 5th head-to-head between the sides. 3 of them have ended in a draw. Mirez, Otto, none was advancing, and overzealously so, giving away a free kick. Talk about subs, Grace. Just wonder if Brooke Nunn, even though she did score the goal in the first half, Em Husband hasn't been afraid to sub her off, even if it is for a teenager like Fuller or Trimmis during the course of the season.
Yeah, she hasn't been a player we've seen play too many 90-minute stints. Brooke Nunn. Just little moments like that as well. Needs to keep her team facing forward, and giving away a little free kick like that occasion, just gifting possession back to Melbourne City.
King tried to clear on the left, sliced it towards the line. Now has to hurry to avoid conceding a corner. Really felt like City were firmly on top as the half-time break arrived, and they're just trying to work through the gears again here at the start of the second half.
It would be interesting for a player like Taryn King as well, who made her first start last weekend in the elimination final, subbed off at around about the 60-minute mark. Whether or not she's got a full 90 in her this afternoon, or that's a continued load management.
Talk about that at the next break in play, because City dangerous again. Nash clears. Gomez. Rasmussen sets Pennock away, but working wide. Nunn's in the middle. Pennock, beautifully measured ball. Brooke Nunn. Mires out of the equation, but there are defenders back. Nunn! The crowd tells the story. Brooke Nunn has two, and the Mariners are level. Central Coast are up for this one. And Melbourne City against an opponent that they just can't shrug.
Well, brilliant stuff from the Central Coast Mariners. Another fantastic team goal. Transition period on the Harvey Norman replay. This pass from Annalise Rasmussen sets this apart. Good weight, good ball speed, and this ball as well. The vision from Jade Pennock to pick out the run of Brooke Nunn, who is working tirelessly into the centre of the field, and she has so much work to do with that finish. Rounds the keeper on the first time of asking, but this angle gets tighter and tighter, has a glance up and makes no mistake. That is some finish.
Well, Nunn only had 3 goals for the season coming into today, and a double couldn't have come at a better time. And you are spot on, Grace. 2 incisive passes, so beautifully done. And yet Nunn still had to show some real individual quality with the number of defenders back on the goal line.
Well, just how quickly the complexion of a game can turn. 2 passes and the third touch being a goal. Brooke Nunn, that is some quality. And the leader, Rasmussen to Pennock, Pennock to Nunn. Really lovely stuff.
Melbourne City have sent their entire bench to go and warm up. Em Husband and the Central Coast Mariners, something similar. Looks like the 17-year-old American Blake Hughes is getting a tactical briefing. Wasn't even on the bench on Monday night. Melbourne City having turned around a first half deficit, 10 minutes into the second half, the game goes in a new direction. Otto, McKenna, great touch. Sets Apostolakis away. And Apostolakis with real speed. We saw this so many times in the first half. Apostolakis was in 2 minds about a pass or maybe a long shot. And now Gomez picks the pocket of Rossbacken and is caught from behind legally. Fans find their voice, but Davidson did it well. Won the ball back and now is trying to use it in the other direction. Leah Davidson. Passing avenue blocked by King. Gomez has got to go again. Body language says that the passes weren't on. It's because the Mariners had so many players collapsing back into defence behind the ball. Pennock, good footwork. Krasula. Gomez, mind right back on the job. Sends a pass out to the right. Nunn having a day out. Rasmussen and Pennock wait in the middle. Pennock rolls the defender. And then can't quite find the elevation or the placement of the shot. A couple of shots on target for Pennock in this half. Both of them straight at Milena Mires.
Milena Mires feeling the heat, just taking a deep breath after collecting that shot. And Jade Pennock, that's a lovely first touch. Turns on a dime, but just not quite finding the purchase behind the strike as she would like.
Now a bit of frustration spilling out for Briley Henry. The game is so delicately poised. Both coaches pondering their subs. Mariners have slashed Melbourne City's win prob and more than doubled their own. The game can change in the blink of an eye. McMahon touches off. Hughes still had work to do. Krasula McMahon. Mariners being urged backwards, one pass after another. Langman clears in the nick of time and appeals for offside. Well found by Rebecca Stott because the flag is up. Jade Pennock coming back to contest that header from an offside position.
Well, experience there from Rebecca Stott, just recognising the play. Jade Pennock not quite getting herself back on side, and it gives the opportunity for City just to take a breath, to take stock. The game hanging in the balance. 2 draws across the course of the regular season between these teams.
Well, it would be a cruel irony if both legs ended in a draw and then Central Coast won on penalties. Melbourne City would have an undefeated season and not even make the grand final. Such a thing is plausible. City don't want it to become their reality. McKenna. McMahon with it all to do. King. Well, Gomez second to the ball and turns to the referee rather than her felled opponent. Georgia Ghirardello isn't reaching for the cards. We haven't seen a yellow in this game. Gomez was booked on Monday against Canberra. Not so here.
Well, maybe a little lucky to get away with that one, Izzy Gomez. Quick to apologise, but got the timing wrong. I think what's been a really well-managed game by referee Georgia Ghirardello.
Just wonder as the tension ramps up if we will see a foot left in a bit more. Hasn't been anything by way of spite in the game. It's been 2 teams completely focused on the tactical battle, which has ebbed and flowed through the course of the game. The pass from McKenna is going to be retrieved by Langman. So we've hit the hour mark, but there's no one standing next to the 4th official just yet. Both teams have emptied the bench to go and warm up, but right now the 11s that started the game continue to duel. Vlanich. Davidson. McKenna. City unable to pass their way through close quarters. No nonsense defending from Rowe. Postelakis. Able to step around Brooke Nunn. Rostbacken. Now Stott. Vlanich just slipped at the key moment. It would have been a very tough pass to run down regardless, but the slip made it impossible. Nunn working against Vlanich. Nash happy to take a touch, but can't squeeze it down the line to Rowe. Melbourne City have the throw in. Postelakis, now McKenna. Exactly the sort of player to find a gap where there isn't one, but opts to go to Vlanich instead. Teasing cross. Hughes made a late aerial contest. Rostbacken, tough to control on the chest. McKenna's done exceptionally well, but the cut across only succeeds in finding Jess Nash, who sweeps it to safety.
Just relieves the pressure slightly, Jess Nash, after the Mariners absorbing a fair amount of pressure. Just a little lull in the game as well. Energy just dropping, and heavy clash moments earlier. Brooke Nunn just went into the back of TJ Vlanich, who is holding at the centre of her back off screen.
That pass goes long, but Pennock looks a solid metre offside regardless. So Milena Mires hasn't been in this position too many times in this half compared to the first, where we saw frequent standoffs as she waited for the Mariners to commit, and they just refused to do so. See the confidence to come roaming out of her penalty area now.
And City City have pushed their wide players, Apostolakis, Rossbacken, really high and just asked a bit more of a role of Leah Davidson dropping back in, which is stretching the field.
McKenna. Apostolakis. Vlanich. Apostolakis. And forced out. Rose, top priority at the moment, over at right back, is just defending. Stopping Melbourne City from advancing. They've favoured this side of the pitch in the last few minutes. Rebecca Stott. Shelby McMahon back to Stott, making a run. Ross back and forward to support the attack. Langman parries, and through the penalty area it goes. It was a spectacular late lunge from Henry. And the Mariners clear their lines. Did he want to take the throw in quickly? Apostolakis, McMahon again. Vlanich, McKenna. Rossbacken, and it will run long to Sarah Langman. Down to Neve Owens. Neve, Melbourne City had one big plan in this game, and they are about to deploy it.
They're about to unleash Holly Mack. That'll be the next change that we see here on the sideline. Teo, Holly Mack's just been having a look at some tactics sheets here on the edge with Michael Matriciani and his staff, and that is the injection of what pace, speed, incredible finishing ability that we're about to see from this Melbourne City side. And it's not bad, is it, when you've got a Matilda leading your line to start the game and you've got another one ready to come off the bench right when you need it.
Thank you, Neve. Suspect it will be Shelby McMahon who might make way, who's been playing as a centre forward in this game so far, but the ball hasn't gone out, so play continues, and the Mariners would love nothing more than to welcome Holly Mack to the game by scoring again. None. Did she have the ankles tapped? Play continues. Panic. Melbourne City have managed to get numbers back behind the ball here, and everything will slow down, so the chance to break its speed is lost, but Central Coast still have possession. Martin. Rasmussen touches it around. This is shooting range for Rasmussen! It was flat, it was travelling, and it goes just wide.
Well, wicket from Annalise Rasmussen. What a strike that was. And she knew exactly what she was going to do. Exceptional levers, and put her boot through it. That is a sweet hit. Just a little wide, but it had mirrors worried.
And as Rasmussen fires wide, Shelby McMahon comes off. Job done leading the line. The team scored twice with her on the pitch as a centre forward. And what a sub to bring on. The Golden Boot winner, 15 goals in 17 home and away games. Holly McNamara is on.
Well, if Central Coast needed any sort of warning, it's come in the likes of a certain Holly McNamara, who has been exceptional this season. A tiring defensive line. Taryn King, 60 minutes against Canberra last week, returning from the ACL. The fresh legs of Holly McNamara, but the question mark over exactly what she was nursing into today's game, not entirely clear.
And as Langman clears to the line, the Mariners are going to answer with a double change of their own, and it's a big double change because we're going to see the 17-year-old American Blake Hughes come on. And also Shadeen Evans, who's been played more as a midfielder this season than as a striker. So is this going to mean, as Bianca Galich takes the captain's armband for Taryn King, that it'll be Galich going to the centre of defence, and then Brooke Nunn, 2 goals, but still coming off. And we did flag this, Grace, that she doesn't play too many full 90s, so even though she's been the Mariners' path to goal, she's still leaving the game at the 68-minute mark.
Well, she gets a warm reception, and understandably so. What a performance this afternoon from Brooke Nunn. And Taryn King, there's that change as well anticipated. Still managing the return from the ACL injury. And Taryn King manages a few more minutes than what we saw in her game against Canberra.
There's Hughes, nominally a defender, but I don't think they're putting her in at centre-back. It looks like Galich, the number 8, is now standing at central defensive position that she did fill in a number of games this season after that ACL injury for Ash Irwin, while Taryn King was still out rehabbing an ACL of her own on the comeback trail. And of course, no Taylor Ray today, so let's open the door for young Hughes to get a taste of finals action here.
And plenty of flexibility in this Mariners side. The fact you've got multiple midfielders who can slot back into that centre-half role, Galich being one of them, Taylor Ray ostensibly a midfielder, unavailable today, but has been playing that centre-back role in recent weeks.
I wonder, as we watch play unfold here, if the Mariners have gone to a back 5, in fact, as Hughes watches the ball out. Let's see what it looks like when they have possession in midfield, but for now, when they were defending, Hughes was definitely standing in defence. Evans, 1 goal this season, but we've seen her play as a midfielder who's very physical. She did receive a red card away in Adelaide for 2 bookable offences, but we know what a fantastic talent she is.
I think you're spot on, Teo. I think defensive shape will see the Mariners with a 5 at the back, just trying to secure up that defensive line. Slow down the likes, if possible, of Holly McNamara. And it looks like that duty will be down to Bianca Galich to begin with.
Gomez, Rasmussen, a sighter a moment ago. It's amazing the just trajectory Annalise Rasmussen has been on. Was nominated for Young Player of the Season as the April nominee, the final one of the season during the campaign. Martin swings in across, Rasmussen's up, sliding on, Evans heard the shout of Rowe, and Sarah Rowe had to open her account in the Ninja A-League, and not close to doing so there.
It's not a bad look from Central Coast there. The header from Rasmussen, she's done well to reach above the rest, and good early touches shown by Shay Evans. Technique just scuffs the shot. Sarah Rowe sees that one sailing over the net.
Not a surprise to see Melbourne City with 2/3 possession, but midfield tussle very much reflective of where this game has taken place. Both sides with almost identical amounts of territory in their attacking thirds, which is at times a rarity for a Melbourne City game. Central Coast will be thrilled with the fact that they haven't been overwhelmed in the territory battle, even though City have dominated possession. Rossbacken, Henry, McNamara, out into the path of Rossbacken. Great run from Davidson, McNamara, Henry, and the shot is deflected out. It will be a corner kick off Taryn King.
Neatly done by City. Good build-up play, picking passes. The one around the corner from Holly McNamara, just nice bit of quality. Carly Rossbacken continues to work hard down the right-hand flank for City.
And as they were getting ready to take this corner, Michael Matriciani called Rebecca Stott over to the sideline. So maybe an instruction, having seen Central Coast go to a back 5. City might be about to make a subtle, or not so subtle, change of their own. Right now, they have an attacking set piece. Vlanich's corner, driven, and off the head of Galich and through the penalty area. McKenna against Gomez. Both teams shouting, and a goal kick is the end result.
Well, the in-swinger from Vlanich is always going to be a dangerous one. Technically very good. Just glanced away, but concerning signs. Zizi Gomez is taking herself to ground and just needing a little attention, it would seem.
As you can see, that's her good leg. The other one with significant strapping around the knee. And the injury that cost her basically the middle third of the season and then some. Team's taking the opportunity to get a drink. Shadows have advanced to about 60% of the pitch now. It's like an impromptu break 3/4 of the way through today's action. This
final 15 minutes will be interesting. all squared away at 2-2. A little over 15 to go. Will either side gamble, try and secure the win in this first leg of the semi-final?
Let's check in on the sideline with Neve Owens, who's got a front row seat to the little tactical powwow that just took place.
Yeah, both coaches having a word with their teams. Teo, it was interesting to see Bianca Galich run straight over to Emily Husband. As soon as Izzy Gomez went down, she came straight across to the boss to get her instructions, and you could see perhaps a tactical shift, perhaps a little change incoming as Emily Husband spoke to her troops. I love the way that both of these coaches communicate with their teams. They're not shouting one-syllable instructions from the sidelines. They are both really tactical, they are both really clear, both really supportive of the players out in the middle.
Thank you, Neve. Great to have a bit of eavesdropping on those huddles as we see clash of heads here, and Rowe, even though she's kept her feet and left Lanich a bit worse for wear. The foul goes Melbourne City's way.
Sarah Rowe just half a breath late to the contact, although no malice intended behind it. She can argue too much with the outcome, the resulting free kick to Melbourne City, and again it's Letitia McKenna who is pulling the strings.
Well, this one about another 10 metres further out than where she scored from in the first half. Sarah Langman's got 2 in the wall this time. It was 3 in the wall in the first half. McKenna is going to go to Ross Backen. Headed away by Rasmussen. Gomez. Happy to just kick into space. Evans is going to make it a contest here against Vlanich. Force a back pass to Mirrors. And again, the game, you wouldn't say meandering, but it has been in a bit of a lull here. Almost like both teams are saving their legs for a big finish. Don't forget, the action continues on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus. Melbourne City against Sydney FC. It's a massive day to sort out who will finish second and pick up that Asian Champions League elite spot in the Isuzu Uday League Men's. Gomez, block tackle on Vlanich, and then a neat little drag step to take the ball away. Rasmussen. Evans. Did she stay onside? Shoulder to shoulder against Hughes. Apostolakis in to help out. And Melbourne City had the numbers. Otto's got to be careful here. Rasmussen nearly came in. Oh, must have the soft step, Rasmussen, because Otto did not hear her coming.
Well, the fleet-footed Rasmussen snuck up behind Otto. Neat bit of footwork here by Izzy Gomez. Really composed under high pressure. Good defensive work from, well, not Otto on that occasion, but moments earlier, good defensive work shown by Laura Hughes just to slow the run of Shay Evans.
Langman, see McKenna there, chasing all the way to the goalkeeper, hurrying things up. Stott showed a lot of the ball to Krasula, and the whistle goes. Krasula knew. The fans all protest, but Greta Krasula put a foot into the shins of Rebecca Stott.
And again, just a bit of a tired tackle. Krasula going for the ball, undoubtedly, but just a bit late, misses the ball, collects Rebecca Stott, who, as the game's worn on, is advancing further and further into the field. She's a very tricky customer on the ball. Stotty, really slippery, really good close ball control.
Attempted through ball here, Martin. The goal is to see it over the line. Got barged in the back. It might be a free kick instead of a goal kick. Then left hanging. Wanted a hand up from Ross Backen, and Ross Backen's quick to return into position.
Well, Annabelle Martin is another one that has been so consistent for this Mariners team. A real utility, used at left back, right back, centre half when called upon.
And was even the captain for a few games when both King and Galich were out during the season.
Yeah, a real leader in the side is Annabelle Martin, and the kind of character that needs to keep a young team focused for this last 12 minutes of regulation time and then whatever stoppage remains.
City have seemingly made the call. Polisina and Murray both summoned to the sideline for a last word with the assistant coaches. So a couple of new attackers waiting in the wings. Holly McNamara may have come on, but hasn't quite exploded into the game, perhaps the way Melbourne City might have hoped. As we wind our way towards the final 10 minutes of this first leg, the game remains level.
And there's a almost certain back five from the Central Coast Mariners, lining up and looking to manage the likes of Holly McNamara, Riley Henry, just adding a bit more stock to that defensive unit.
Apostolakis. Evans managed to get goal side and forces Apostolakis to go square. Now Davidson back to Otto. Otto goes over the top, and the Mariners will be happy defending those sort of passes for the remainder of this game.
Well, the response there from Langman answers the question. I think we know the Mariners happy to consolidate, happy to sit back in. But that shape is what forced that long searching pass from Taylor Otto.
Krasula, McNamara. City are going to prevail with the ball here. Davidson, McNamara, surrounded by yellow shirts. We'll get into a little bit of space, and Hughes comes through, wins the ball cleanly. Nicely done by Blake Hughes. Pass ball down by Stott. Ross back, and Gomez, well, trying to nick it on, but didn't have any mates in midfield on that occasion. City retrieved the ball. So Rihanna Polisina and Amelia Murray make their way around to the fourth official. Next break in play, it'll be two more attackers coming on. I suspect that it might be Briley Henry and TJ Vlanich making way. We'll see just how attacking Melbourne City are feeling about chasing this game. So whistle goes, and moment of truth here. Rihanna Polisina, with Lourdes Bosch out, is currently the assist leader in the A-League Women's. 6 for the season. Bosch has 9. Comes on for Letitia McKenna. And let's take another look at Letitia McKenna's stunning free kick from the first half.
Well, really, it needs no words, that free kick. Impressive performance from Letitia McKenna off the back of what has been an impressive season.
TJ Vlanich was the other player to make way. Amelia Murray on for just a 5th A-League appearance of the season. Still hasn't scored in this competition since 2023. The former Young Matildas captain. There's Polisina. 6 assists in about half the game time that the league leader Bosch has accumulated 9 during the campaign. And the introduction is to foul Izzy Gomez.
It's been a tough year for Polisina. She's delivered well in the minutes she has been awarded, but a couple of question marks over her inclusion or lack thereof in the side. Nonetheless, we know Rihanna Polisina, a gifted player, very technical.
Well, the Mariners having pulled up the handbrake on this game, it would be quite the bonus if they were to score. Given that they are not exactly throwing caution to the wind, but they couldn't possibly turn down an opportunity like this to get it into the penalty area and try to create some havoc. Players shielding their eyes from the sun, but Elena Mires, the 6-yard box is now entirely in shadow. Jessica Nash lifts it to 5 metres outside the box. Blake Hughes. McNamara is down for City. Play continues in the meantime. And the referee's going to whistle play dead. Fans don't like it, but the medical team's coming. And whenever Holly McNamara goes down, it's always nervous.
Well, breaths collectively held across the country because it's a scene all too familiar. As we have another look at the replay, not quite the trajectory needed from the delivery of Jess Nash, and we'll just have a look here to see where the contact was. Nothing too apparent in that, straight off the top of the head, which can be a little bit uncomfortable. I wonder if that's what's caused Holly McNamara to go to ground, but she stayed down.
I'm not to downplay the seriousness of a concussion, but at least it's not an injury to the knees or anywhere else. But watch this space. Looks as though the medical staff seem pretty happy that McNamara's okay, and it doesn't appear as though there's going to be a prolonged check.
Well, as I said earlier, we came in with a couple of question marks as to her start on the bench today. We wasn't entirely clear what the injury was that she was nursing.
Well, McNamara's going to be waved right back on. So, of course, a head injury does mean that the referee can whistle play dead. So, well done by Georgia Ghirardello. Touch wood, you don't want to jinx it with the business end of the game coming, but it has been a very well refereed match so far. McNamara is back on. Blake Hughes. Gallich. Jessica Nash. Sarah Rowe in trouble. Evans backtracking. McNamara not taking a backward step at all. Went sliding in. And the Mariners send it all the way back to Langman. Hughes trying to outfox Davidson. Rowe, tough pass to control, did really well. Nash's first clearance blocked by Murray, and second one, well, did it cross the line? It did not. It hit the paint, but didn't cross all the way. And now Gomez can veer through midfield, and the Mariners might be away. Driven forward to Pennock. Martin on the outside. Pennock is going to move into the middle, tried to force it through. Apostolakis blocks away. Rowe finds Evans from a standing start. Shadeen Evans. And Apostolakis not falling for, in the end, what was a bit of a straightforward attack there from Evans. Apostolakis has held down that left back corner all game.
Well, comfortably done by Alexia Apostolakis.
Two young attackers waiting in the wings for the Central Coast Mariners. And those subs will go through now. So 16-year-old Tiana Fuller, 6 goals in her first Ninja A-League campaign. And 18-year-old Peter Trimis, just the 1 goal this season, but 3 assists. And Annalise Rasmussen, who's made a presence today, hasn't been able to find the back of the net, but you'd still say has had a pretty good game coming off, and Trimis comes on. And it's Sarah Rowe coming off for Tiana Fuller. In the meantime, we've got a Melbourne City player down. So it's all happening here, but the youngster Fuller, who's been a revelation in her first season, often as a super sub, gets a handful of minutes here.
Well, this may be a shuffling of the deck chairs for Emily Husband's side. As although play hasn't restarted, Leah Davidson looks to be having a bit of concern with that right calf. Play hasn't restarted, but Jade Pennock has dropped right back into what looks to be the right fullback position. Maybe taking the place of Sarah Rowe. So there's that change there. Peter Trimis has pushed Shadeen Evans centrally, and she's just loitering out on the right-hand side. Annalise Rasmussen could be very proud of her performance. A strong 85-plus minutes.
So will it be a draw for the 3rd time this season, or will we get a late winner in this first leg? Apostolakis now up against a young Matilda's teammate, Peter Trimis.
See too the lone striker in Shadeen Evans, so the Mariners really trying to sit back in now.
Stott. Davidson moving well again after stretching out that calf. Martin will pop up and under. It's going to have backspin that takes it towards Henry. Postelakis, Amelia Murray. City happy to be patient as well, it seems. Mariners have packed the back line, and Melbourne City don't want to give away the ball. Have a throw in here. 2 minutes of regulation to go. McNamara. Henry. Davidson misplaced the pass. Now the Mariners can take over, but there's no chance to hit on the counter. That's a vital block coming in from Davidson. Oh, and now a hard-won ball there from Hughes, and what you spoke about it at length in pre-game, Grace. Hughes versus Gomez, and they've had almost an NRL-style collision there.
Well, no love lost. Solid shoulder-to-shoulder. Gomez coming in. The ball's gone. It's a clear free kick.
We haven't seen a card given in this game, and Gomez has been the closest of anyone walking up to the line, but it may have been all worthwhile. She can't get past Henry here. Hughes back to Langman. They just can't advance the ball at the moment. The Mariners, Gomez crashing in again. Davidson, well, stopped to appeal to the referee. It was just the window that Crazula needed, and now Fuller might have outpointed Ross back in here. She's away, Fuller. And the ball is going to deflect on. Mires coming out, gets to the ball before anyone else.
Almost gifted a moment there, Central Coast, as the ball just skipped under Carly Rossbacken, who has been almost faultless this afternoon. But you're right, Teo, the Mariners struggling to find a way out because they're sitting so deep, so the targets aren't there. The players, the release valve isn't available.
Postelakis, a looping pass. Galich. Laura Hughes brings it under control. Stott. Fourth official Beck Mackey will raise the board and show 6 additional minutes. Still plenty of time to find a winner. Holly McNamara takes it down to the corner. She can get the better of Blake Hughes. She can't. 17-year-old's really set herself for this one. It's going to be a Mariners throw. Well done by Hughes. She's recruited from the Northern Tigers after her family had moved from America to Australia, so trust me, the youth national teams have checked. She's not available for Australia. She is an American.
Well, that was calmly done. Confidence from the 17-year-old up against the informed Matilda and Holly McNamara. You can see just how young Blake Hughes actually is.
Martin led with the head. Fuller. Pennick's in space. Jade Pennick. Held up by Amelia Murray. Allows the Melbourne City defence to get in position. Murray again, putting it booted. Nash. Postelakis with the intercept and sends it out in front of Davidson. Riley Henry working wide rather than forward. Postelakis. Henry in a bit of space. Policina. Henry. Oh, the ball just kept moving. I wonder if that was thinking about a shot on side or trying to pass it around the corner. City reload and go again. Riley Henry is making good runs at the moment. Laura Hughes blocked immediately. Gomez off the head. Amelia Murray. Pennick puts a challenge in. Recast in this new defensive role right at the end of the game. Feels like the Mariners are just holding on to this 2-2 scoreline at the moment. Postelakis over to Stott. Stott slides it on. Davidson. Policina. I was able to free the feet for a shot, but sent it high.
Well, nerves are high. The shot was high, but nerves are high. The tension's building. And as Central Coast sit back deeper and deeper and allow City to possess the ball. They're in their comfort zone. You see those little intricate passes. But the minutes are ticking away. It's a matter of if this Mariners team, the crowd coming alive, can hold on.
Half of stoppage time expired. Panic. Otto. Evans. Sends it to Fuller. Most advanced attacker. Numbers now getting forward in midfield. There's been a tangle of legs between Evans and Otto, but Otto's back to her feet, returning to the centre of defence. Krasula. Panic. Now Peter Trimis. Back inside, misses Panic. Polisina takes over. McNamara's a lone hand up top for City all of a sudden. Everyone trying to make space and make haste to get back in defence. McNamara hold the ball up well. Laura Hughes sends it well wide. And Hughes, who has had a great goal scoring season, her best in the Ninja A-League, not able to add to her tally of 4.
Well and truly her best season in the A-League, not just goal scoring but involvements, her confidence growing. Matilda's call up as well. And there, just a glimpse for City. Holly McNamara breaking into space. Jess Nash did well. Just kept her step for step, gave time for the Mariners' defence to recover, to get numbers behind the ball.
.90 seconds remaining. Stott. Mirez with plenty of time. Doesn't want to delay things any longer. City have kept attacking. They want to leave a winner. Otto calls for McNamara to come to the ball. Left it a little shallow, but Krasula was losing balance. Murray blocked away. That will take us into the last minute of 6 additional at the end of the 90. Apostolakis with a long throw. McNamara knocked to the ground. Free kick given. So maybe, just maybe, Melbourne City with a late set piece. M. Husband protesting in earnest. She knows how valuable a set piece could be with Taylor Otto still on the pitch. Here's another look. Nash into the back and a little bit of the side of Holly McNamara. So this might be it. Sarah Langman wants just Jade Pennock in the wall. Taylor Otto being marked by Bianca Galich, shielding her eyes from the sun. Can Rihanna Polisina find her with the last attack of the game? Good header by Hughes, rose to the ball. Fuller puts a left foot through it, and the crowd know how important that is as she finds the line, and stoppage time expires. Will referee Georgia Ghirardello give Melbourne City one more phase of play? McNamara popped over the top by Apostolakis. It's out for a goal kick. And we will see you in a week in Melbourne, because we are no closer to working out who will advance to the Ninja A-League Grand Final. Great entertainment in the first leg of this semi-final, and for the 3rd time this season, can't split them between the Central Coast Mariners and Melbourne City. Brooke Nunn scored a double, put the Mariners 1-0 up. They fell 2-1 down, but her equaliser in the second half, all important. And it means that the Mariners are right up to their ears in it against the still undefeated Premiers, 24 without a loss. Riley Henry did have Melbourne City into a 2-1 lead, but it wouldn't survive the second half. Tough 90 minutes for her out there today. Got through a power of work. And ultimately, it's all to play for in the second leg, because the first leg has ended. Central Coast Mariners 2, Melbourne City 2. And details for that second leg of the semi-final, keep an eye on the A-League's website and social media. It will be made available as soon as it's locked in. Don't forget, tomorrow, Adelaide United will be taking on Melbourne Victory in the first leg of their semi-final. So we still have 3 full games to determine who will be heading to grand final day. Hopefully they can all live up to the spectacle we were given today, because this was a great contest. It's a rarity to see teams come from behind to lead in finals in the Ninja A-League, but we got that today with Melbourne City going behind, taking the lead, and then the Mariners showing real resolve and character to come back and grab themselves a draw. We are going to go down to ground level for some of the aftermath. Take it away, Neva.
Izzy Gomez, that was yet another physical battle, and it always felt like that battle in the middle of the park for yourself was going to have a big bearing on how this game played out. How tough was it?
Yeah, no, City's a top team, so we knew it was going to be a tough match. You know, they got a solid team, and yeah, but we held off, and yeah, we took it today, and yeah, got the 2 goals, so we're happy. Yeah.
Scored first, but once again had to fight back from a goal down. What was Emily Husband's message at the break?
Yeah, we've come into games, you know, down, so yeah, we weren't stressed or anything. We knew we were going to come back, and yeah, Em said to keep our heads up and just keep doing what we're doing, and yeah, we'll get it.
We know they're an awesome side. We know they're a physical side, but they're yet to beat your side this season. How much confidence does that give you heading into the second leg?
Yeah, no, heaps of confidence. So yeah, they're still, you know, a tough team, so we can't, you know, let this one go. But yeah, no, we're super happy with what we did.
Well done today. Good luck next week.
Thanks heaps.
Izzy Gomez joining us. Briley Henry has been good enough to join us as well. Briley, congrats on a great game this afternoon. Did you feel coming in that with McNamara out, with Bosch out, that was a real opportunity for you to lead the attack?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, they've been part of our attack all season, so it's you know, it's tough coming in without them, but I think the good thing about this squad is that we have a lot of depth, people who can fill in, which is really good.
Your goal was an absolute cracker. Such speed, such composure. Talk us through that moment. What was going through your head as you went around the keeper?
I think it was a great ball through. I got the touch out. I actually thought I took it a bit too far, but I saw her going down, so I thought I'd get the touch around her, and luckily she went down kind of quick and I got it around, and then I thought, just can't miss from there.
Your partnership with Apostolakis, those balls that she's threading through for you, that feels like it really allows you to then do your thing.
Yeah, I think when she cuts inside and opens up the field and I can come across the line, she can slip them in. It's really good for the attack because the back line don't really know what to do. So yeah, she did really well today.
All even now, heading into the second leg, but this time you guys will be at home.
Yeah, I think home is a big advantage, but that's not to say that it's not going to be a really tough game like it was here. You know, I think a tie obviously would have liked to come away with the win, but makes it more interesting, I guess.
Well done today. Can't wait to see you go again next week.
Thank you. Thanks heaps.
Great stuff from both players and Neve Owens down at the sideline. So there is our road to the grand final. 2-2 in the first leg, second leg to come in Melbourne. And tomorrow Adelaide United will play at home first at Cooper Stadium against Melbourne Victory in the first of 2 legs. And you can catch that game from 3:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you're in Adelaide, all roads lead to Hindmarsh. Get out to Cooper Stadium and enjoy Adelaide United against Melbourne Victory. You can watch it on 10 Play and Paramount Plus. Let's check in now with a preview of the massive A-League men's match between Melbourne City and Sydney FC. Michael Zapponi.
Yeah, thanks, Neve. A huge one here in Melbourne. So much at stake for both sides. Melbourne City come into this one second position on the table. Should they win today, they will secure second spot, and with that, a spot in the Asian Champions League elite competition, which means a prize pool of almost $1.3 million secured for Melbourne City. For Sydney FC, they must get a result here at Amy Park if they want to play finals football this campaign. One change for Sydney FC, and Wahim comes into the starting 11 for Jaden Kaczarski. No changes for Melbourne City, the same 11 for them, but there are a couple of big names coming into the bench as well. Matthew Leckie in for Melbourne City. He's missed the last couple with a hamstring injury. He returns via the bench. And Sydney FC also welcome back Patrick Klimala, who's missed the last couple as well. It should be a beauty here in Melbourne. So much at stake for both Melbourne City and Sydney FC.
Zappers, thank you so much. Cannot wait to join you. I'm here alongside Grace Gill and our player of the match, Brooke Nunn. Brooke, Absolutely cracking game this afternoon. We know you bring that physicality. We know you bring that flair. How good did it feel to score a couple of goals as well?
Yeah, it felt amazing. I felt like we knew it was going to be a battlefield out there, but we gave our all. So to get goals as well is just such a bonus. So I'm really pleased with that.
And it felt like you were on the front foot the whole time. You didn't sit back. You didn't try and absorb the pressure. Was that part of the game plan today?
Yeah, because we're at home. I mean, was like, yeah, we better go for it, you know. And they're a brilliant team, but they haven't beat us this season, you know. So we had nothing to lose. So we put our head down and we really went for it today.
Did the instructions from the boss change at all when you found out that they were missing the likes of Lourdes Bosch, that Holly McNamara wouldn't start?
Yeah, we was a bit like shocked, but other than that, we knew they had good players to replace everyone. So we knew that it was going to be a good battle, but just to keep our head down and go for a result.
But the plan was to always play that high line?
Always, yeah, always.
So what about next week? Away to City, you've got this chance to rest, to recover, to go again. How do you approach that final game differently?
I think we're going to have a big boost from today's result, and we're going to just keep our head down and look for a result.
How important is that rest? Because that was physical again today. We know you love that stuff. It was physical last week against Canberra as well. How is everyone holding up?
Yeah, we're holding on by threads, but do you know what I mean? We live for this.